People look at me and see a retired executive. They see the nice watch, the paid-off property, the portfolio. Technically, I have the resources right now to charter a plane to France. I could check into the Ritz tonight, order a bottle of vintage Bordeaux that costs more than my first car, and stand on a balcony overlooking the Seine. I look at these 2 pieces of paper, and the physical pain in my chest is sharper than the heart attack that put me in the ICU 5 years ago, because a heart attack just threatens your future. These tickets, they assassinate your past. Look at the date stamped in red ink. May 1995. These aren't just expired boarding passes. They are the receipts of a stolen life. And the worst part is, there was no burglar. There was no intruder. I am the thief. I robbed my own wife of the only thing she ever asked for. You have to understand who Martha was. She wasn't like me. She didn't care about the corner office. She didn't care if my name was on a plaque in the lobby of a skyscraper. She didn't want a mansion with 6 bedrooms for 2 people. She was a soul made of wildflowers and poetry. Since she was a literature student at Cornell, reading Hemingway in that drafty library where we met, she had one singular glowing dream. She didn't want to just visit Paris. She wanted to breathe it. She wanted to see Paris in the rain, in the spring. I can still see her in our old kitchen. She would be standing by the stove stirring a pot of soup, humming that song, La Vie en Rose. She would do a little 2-step dance between the refrigerator and the sink, holding a wooden spoon like a microphone. She'd stop, look at me with those bright, expectant eyes that hadn't been hardened by the world yet, and say, "Tom, put down the pen. Just imagine it. Imagine the coffee. Imagine the smell of rain on the cobblestones in Montmartre. Imagine us with no phone, no blueprints, just us." And what did I do? Did I stand up? Did I dance with her? No. I was sitting at the kitchen table, surrounded by rolls of schematics, calculating load-bearing walls for a shopping mall that was demolished 10 years ago. I would adjust my glasses, sigh, a loud, heavy sigh to let her know she was interrupting serious work, and I would say the same 3 sentences. "Not now, Martha. Next year, Martha. Business is absolute chaos right now, honey. You know that." And then the grand finale, the promise that sounded so logical, so responsible. "Let's wait until I retire. Let's wait until the portfolio hits the target number. Then we can go for a month. We won't rush. We'll do it properly." Properly. That was my favorite word. I was a structural engineer. My mind didn't process feelings, it processed physics. Tension, compression, shear, moment. I believed that life was a construction project. You dig the hole, you pour the foundation, you erect the steel, and then, only when the structure is complete, do you allow yourself to move in. I needed everything to be solid, safe, calculated. I looked at our marriage and I didn't see a romance. I saw a project to be managed. I thought I was being a good husband. I told myself I was building our future. I was securing the perimeter to keep the wolves away. I sat in that office until 9 p.m. every night, convincing myself of the great lie. I am doing this for her. I am suffering in this fluorescent light so she can enjoy Paris without worrying about the price of a croissant. That is the single biggest lie men tell themselves. It is a transaction that doesn't exist. We trade a today that we have in our hands for a tomorrow that is not guaranteed to anyone. We mortgage the present to buy a future that might never arrive. I thought I had infinite time. I thought Martha would always be there, dancing in the kitchen, waiting for me to finally look up from my blueprints. And then came 1995. I thought I was finally ready to make good on my promise. I bought these tickets. It was supposed to be our 20th anniversary. 3 days before the flight, the phone rang. It was 9 p.m. A client. There was a crisis at a massive construction site in Chicago. A hairline fracture in a support beam. A potential structural failure. Millions of dollars were on the line. My reputation was on the line. I remember standing in the hallway, holding the phone in one hand and these tickets in the other. It was a simple calculation for me back then. On one hand, a holiday, something frivolous, something that could wait. On the other hand, concrete, steel, liability, my legacy. I looked at the tickets. I looked at the floor. And I chose the concrete. I put the phone back to my ear and I said, "I'll be there in the morning." Then I walked into the bedroom and delivered the sentence, "We'll change the dates, honey. October's better anyway. The light is better in the fall." She didn't argue. Martha never argued. She didn't scream. She didn't throw a vase. I almost wish she had. Anger I could have handled. Anger is a force I can calculate. Instead, she just smiled that sad, gentle smile, the kind of smile that forgives you before you even apologize. She took the Frommer's guidebook off the nightstand and slid it back onto the bookshelf. I can still hear the sound of that book sliding into place. Shh. It sounded like a door closing. The guidebooks gathered dust. The years didn't just pass. They evaporated. The Chicago crisis was solved in 48 hours. The building stood. It's still standing. Nobody remembers the crack in the beam. Nobody remembers that I saved the day. But I remember. I remember that was the week I taught my wife that she came second. And the worst part? The crisis wasn't unique. There was another one the next month, and another one the next year. Because in the corporate world, there is always another crisis. There is always another deal that is too big to miss. There is always another reason why now is inconvenient. Fast forward, 9 years ago, I was 65. I finally retired. I cashed out. We moved here to this farmhouse in Vermont. I looked at the mountains, I looked at her, and I felt this surge of triumph. I said, "Okay, Martha, we made it. The work is done. Now we go." I went to the travel agent. I wasn't just booking a trip. I was engineering a masterpiece, first-class tickets, the suite with the balcony, the private tours. I was trying to buy back 40 years of procrastination with a credit card. But life doesn't look at your Gantt charts. Life doesn't care about your retirement plan. The doctor called us a week later. We thought it was routine. It wasn't. It wasn't Paris. It was pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. There was no negotiation. There was no fixing the structural flaw. We never saw the Eiffel Tower. We never drank the coffee. The only journey we took was the 20-minute drive from the bedroom to the oncology ward. In her final days, she was so weak she couldn't even sit up against the pillows. I sat by her hospital bed holding her hand, which felt so small, so fragile, and I opened those dusty guidebooks. I became a tour guide to a ghost. I read to her about the Louvre. I described the taste of the croissants in Montmartre. I described the sunset over the Seine. I was reading about the city of lights while the fluorescent hospital tubes buzzed over our heads. At the very end, she squeezed my hand. A weak, fluttery squeeze. She whispered, "It's okay, Tom. We're together. That's enough." She forgave me. She died with grace. But I cannot forgive myself. I look at this empty house, and I realize I built a museum for a woman who isn't here to see it. I kept these tickets. I keep them right here on my desk. Not as a souvenir, but as a reminder of my colossal arrogance. I thought I controlled time. I truly believed I could put happiness in a savings account, let it accrue interest for 40 years, and then withdraw it all at the end. But time is not money. You cannot save it. You cannot hoard it. You can only spend it. And once it's gone, it is gone. If you are watching this through a screen right now, maybe you are sitting in your office late at night. Maybe you are checking your emails while your family is eating dinner in the other room. Listen to me closely. If you have a Martha in your life, a wife, a husband, a partner, or just someone who looks at you with hope, and you are telling them, "We'll do it when things settle down." Let me tell you a secret from the finish line. Things never settle down. Life is not a static structure. It is entropy. It is chaos. The inbox will never be empty. It is a hydra. You answer one email, 3 more appear. The house will never be perfectly fixed. There will always be a leak, a creak, a renovation project. You will never have enough money because enough is a horizon line. Every time you take a step towards it, it moves a step away. Do not wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is a myth. It is a fairy tale invented by cowards to justify their fear of living. It doesn't exist. The only time you have is this. Right now. It is messy, it is imperfect, it is inconvenient, it is expensive, and it is ticking away while you stare at a spreadsheet. So here is my advice to you. Take the trip. Even if you can't afford the first-class seats, just go. Walk in the rain with holes in your shoes if you have to. Just be there. Eat the cake. Forget the diet. Forget the cholesterol for one night. Taste the sweetness while you have a mouth to taste it. Buy the flowers today. Do not wait to buy them for the funeral. I bought the most expensive, most beautiful lilies for Martha's casket. I filled the whole church with them. I spent thousands. And you know what? It didn't matter. She couldn't smell them. She couldn't see the colors. Those flowers were useless. They were for me, not for her. Buy the $10 bouquet from the supermarket today, while she can still smile at you. That $10 is worth more than the millions I have in the bank. Don't be the one with the full bank account and the empty life. Be the one with the worn-out passport and the memories. I'm Thomas, and looking at these tickets, I know it is too late for me to see Paris with her. Please, don't let it be too late for you.